What are the things that calm you? What are the things that ease your mind? I had an interesting experience this week when a friend of mine helped me out with a dream. So I had this very bizarre dream. This is not for the faint-hearted, by the way. It involves mice and a rat. So I had a dream where I was in my office and there were very, very tiny, tiny little mice, like 2 centimetres big, tiny, weird tiny, you know? Tiny, tiny mice in my dream. I need to keep saying it's a dream. And they kept on poking out from underneath the skirting board in my office. And they were really tiny, and they'd go back in again, but they'd come out and then they'd go back in again. There's only 2 or 3 coming in and going out again. And then I laid down on the floor and looked under the skirting board, and the skirting board was about 2 inches off the floor. And I could see this big black cavern and all these little tiny mice flitting around. And some of them would come out and I'd be like, why aren't they scared? Why aren't they going away? I'd move towards them and they wouldn't go away. And then they'd go back in. And then all of a sudden, a really large one came out, which I'm going to define as a very small rat because it was so big compared to the tiny mice. And the rat came out onto the table and none of the team seemed bothered. Like, my colleagues were there and it was on my table in my office. And the rat kind of moved across the table and I hit it because I was like, I need to get rid of this rat. And please remember, this is a dream. And in the end, I got rid of this rat, if you know what I mean. And I used like a really flimsy ruler or something like that to get rid of the rat. I was so worried about being judged. I am right now, even though it's a dream. I was so worried about being judged for getting rid of this rat. And no one batted an eyelid. No one was like, oh my goodness, Kate, what are you doing? Everyone was just getting on and like, oh yeah, that makes sense, like that. And then I was like looking high and low in my office for a plastic bag to put this rat into, the body of the rat into. And every time I found a bag, it either had huge holes in it so I couldn't use it, or it just shrank. Every time I picked it up, I went to go and pick up the rat, the bag shrank so I couldn't get rid of it. So I tell my friend about it, this dream, and she says, do you want me to tell you what it means? And I'm like, it's just a dream. It's clearly an anxiety dream. I'm clearly worried about something. And she was like, no, I'm going to tell you what it means. And she told me, like, the symbols of the tiny mice mean that there's lots of tiny problems going on and that there's a bigger problem that you know is there, but you haven't been dealing with, and now it's here to be dealt with. And then it's obviously something to do with work because you're in the office and it's a business table. And she broke it all down for me. And as she was breaking it down for me, my little insides were going, oh yeah, there's that going on. Oh yeah, there's that going on. Oh yeah, maybe I need to get rid of that and that's going on. And she said to me, become more aware of the way that you felt in the dream. Like, can you tell me how you were feeling in the dream? And I was like, well, yeah. I was confused as to why the little mice wouldn't go away. And I was really stunned that no one cared about me actually getting rid of this rat. And she said, hold on to that, because dreams are not prophetic. Like, you can't tell the future in your dreams, but they will help you make sense of something that's going on for you right now. And I potted off thinking, oh, I know what's going on now. I had a similar experience when I went to see a psychic 2 years ago. And I came away feeling reassured, feeling calm. And I think what's really interesting about both of these situations is how much a metaphor or a story or a framework can really help you to make sense of, understand, and find peace, find calm. Whether you believe in other dimensions, in spirits, in horoscopes, in anything in that kind of supernatural space, to me seems irrelevant. Because as soon as I heard the psychic talk about things in my life, you love water, she said, and I was like, yeah, I do. It gave me an opportunity to chime in, to work out what it is I needed in that moment. And that provided me with comfort, provided me with relief, provided me with calm. And today, the start of Anxiety Awareness Month, I want you to ponder on the strength of story, the story you're making up and telling yourself, which may be not true, or the story someone can give you to help you to understand your own moments in time, or the movie that you watch, or the song that you hear that helps you to make sense of things. Sometimes a story that's nothing to do with your world right now can help you make sense of some stuff that's going on. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Everyday Positivity for you. More from Jo Warner tomorrow, the journalist who has been helping me to understand relationships and helping you to understand relationships with the backdrop of supporting someone through perimenopause and menopause. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. And remember, you have 100% got this.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
Wherever your family is headed, every mile should feel like part of the adventure. With room for 7, the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee is built for your whole crew. Quick morning drop-offs, weekend tournaments, and those unplanned sunset chases that bring everyone together. 4x4 capability keeps you confident through surprises, detours, and let's see where this goes moments. Because the laughter, the stories, and the everyone talking at once rides are the ones that become family legends. The 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee, made for family adventures that matter. Jeep and a Jeep Grill are registered trademarks of FCA US LLC.